what you see here is my blueprint course that I use from a course that I previously taught, traditionally face-to-face. This course I've taught over the last 4 years, and I was able to use the content that I already used, but align it in such a way that anyone could pick up this course and teach it in the same manner with the same content, but have a little leeway in how they delivered it. But the core content is the same. One thing I like about participating in the Blueprint course was that it opened my eyes to the alignment that I had in my course objectives. And that's one of the first things that we looked at and explored. And I'll show you that here. As you can see, all of my modules are in the format of what we learned in T-Tech. This is a step further because I was able to align each module learning objectives with the course objectives, which is also important as we move towards getting Quality Matters certified for courses. And so as you can see here, my learning outcomes are here, which is pretty standard across the board with all of my other courses. But what you have here is I've also paid attention to how these module objectives or outcomes align with a specific course objective. And you can see that at the bottom. So it took me about a week to get that aligned, where we had to complete several activities and tasks through the Blueprint course design, and then moved on to more detailed information about linking those learning objectives to the actual assignment. So I was able to then move forward and linking the assignments and making sure that they made sense. So what you see here is pretty standard throughout all of my modules. So I'll just focus on this particular one. Students will engage with a text that I use in Cengage. It's an ebook, and all they would have to do is click on this link and it would take them to their course reading or course assignment that's in the textbook. And so as you can see here, this is their first activity for this particular chapter reading. And so after the chapter reading, students then would do their quiz or any other assignments within the textbook that I designed for them to do. By clicking the link once again, this would take them to their textbook assignment. And so the instructor, of course, would not have to set anything up ongoing. They just have to make sure that they connected the Canvas course to Cengage. And so as you can see, there are assignments here that are not a part of Cengage. The professor would just need to click on and verify that these links are connected for the current course. For this particular one, it's an assignment in Edpuzzle. It's already linked to the Canvas course, so they would go in and link it by other external tools, look up the Edpuzzle and link it. Students then would sign in through the for all synchronous sessions. The professor would have the option of using Zoom Meets. There's a link in each module again. By clicking this at the beginning of the course, they would set up their schedule when they would meet on Zoom just by clicking on here, identifying the days of the week that they wanted to, whether it's a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Tuesday, whatever that schedule is, they would do that, and it would be available for students to click and join during the session. And so as you can see, this is pretty much already set up. I know how to do it if this was my course, and that pretty much challenged me to make sure that it was available for someone else to do if it wasn't me. And so the next steps that I completed was making sure that I had instructions for whoever would teach the course. And so you can see just some major things or notes where it says add dates. So the professor would know to go in and add their own particular dates there. But more importantly, I added a section, an instructor's notes section, where we develop a guide for the instructor that would go here. And then, if I show you the link here of the storyboard that went into developing this, this is pretty much the guide for the professor with the descriptions of everything and how it should go, the different options, whether it's a 16-week course or 7-week course. But it's pretty much descriptive per module with what should happen in that course. And some of the things could be customized and optional if the professor wanted to use it or not, and I'll show you some examples of that. But you can see as we scroll down, it really does zero in on the different types of assignment lessons that they'll have access to, external exercises that I typically would use in my course. They can use it or not, but it is here available. And in the instructor's guide, it gives some tips on how to implement that activity. Same here with these type of exercises, which is not a part of the ebook that the students have. So to do a class activity, this one I typically do in class as an example, and I know how to do that. But if someone was to come behind and click on this link, they may not necessarily know the purpose of it and that sort. So I put that information inside of the instructor's guide, and so on and so forth. So I have something like this for all of the modules. Okay, last thing that I talk about really is that this is a blueprint course, which means it's not mine. So I had to go in and make sure that individuals could customize it to their personal information. So what I did was, just as an example for a new professor, I added in, just a basic information. They can do it or not, but just where I would put my information in, I took that out and provided a link there so that they can incorporate their information. Same thing here. They would customize their information here, so on and so forth. But what I also did was included just one example of what that would look like if they wanted to customize it for themselves. This is what I have for my course, and I provided as an example for the instructor just to show how they could customize their own to fit their needs. Everything else is pretty much standard for that we received out of T-Tech for a Canvas course. And with that, thank you for paying attention to what I got accomplished over the summer.